I told you guys, I think maybe a couple weeks, like get out of the way, Mike. Let the players go play. Don't be an idiot.
All right, another Mike Macdonald show, and always fun to do this, Brock, especially after a nice win like last night. And Mike, I just listened to your sound from after the game. You called it a great win. What made it a great win?
I think our vision of all three phases playing together, playing complementary football. It felt like, like the guy. I love how our guys are preparing, our mentality going into the games. When we took the lead, like the guys weren't satisfied. They wanted to keep stacking scores and plays, and I was just really pleased with our mentality throughout the whole game. And look, I mean, we had some adversity with some guys go down, and guys had to step up, and guys did that. So, obviously, Sam played an incredible, near perfect game. Especially in the first half. And anytime your quarterback is playing like that, I mean, you got a heck of a chance to do some pretty cool stuff.
Folks love the behind the scenes. Can you take us to the long ride home? Was it exuberant early, and then just everybody passed out eventually on the long flight?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. It's always good, you kind of recap with the guys and go over a few things, and then like once the plane starts going, you're like, all right, like time to go. I think the whole place was knocked out, which is good. So,
did you get a chance to watch the tape?
No,
no.
I didn't even pull it up. So, yeah, well, that'll happen at some point today. I don't know. I think I might go home. Be good to see the family.
What do you expect to find on that tape?
Well, I want I'd like to see. I loved our offensive operation. It felt really good from the sideline. Like I can't wait to watch our offensive line play. You saw what Sam did. You saw our receivers did, but in the run game and stuff to see what we did well, what we can work on. Special teams, I loved our coverage units. Felt really good. I felt like our guys played really hard. I mean, having the Pili on kickoff team forcing the fumble, that was a pretty epic play. So I can't wait to watch that one. And then defensively, it's the normal thing. The effort. Critique myself. There's a couple of plays there on that first touchdown drive that I'm kicking myself on, and evaluate it and go from there.
Mike, you talked about that operation post-game and just mentioned it right there, offensively, the movements and the shifts and all that does. Can you I've got a sense offensively why you do it. Can you give us a sense of defensively how that burdens you or challenges you on the defensive side of the ball when you got a group as crisp to the line, as much movement, as much shifting, as much motion as your guys are doing right now?
Yeah, without getting into all the reasons why, for our own purposes, but if you're just going to sit there and be static, it lets the defense make all the calls, and we're just sitting there waiting on you. So the teams that motion and shift and play ahead of snaps on both sides of the ball, I feel like you're ahead of the play, and if you can even just one step, if you can be one step ahead of your opponent on any given snap, that's a good thing, for us. So that's what we're trying to do, and then we can snap it. We can snap immediately. We can snap it later. I mean, we have those mechanics that we've been able to get to, and I think that's helped us.
We've talked before with you about playing complementary ball, and you just mentioned it a couple minutes ago as well. As you define it now, watching your team and when they're really capable of it, what does it mean to play complementary ball?
Well, I think it's a few things. It's one, doing what you have to do to win the game. So sometimes defense is going to have to pick up the offense. Sometimes you're going to have to chuck it around the yard. Sometimes it's a grind it out, run it game. You're trying to get special teams to make a difference in the game and win that phase. So sometimes that's how it shows itself. And then other times it's about, there's a turnover and now defense has to go step up, or defense has had a long drive and now the offense has got to put something together or end a 2-minute. We want to end the ball at the half, because we want to double them up at the half. All those things, all those little situations that show up in a game where if you feel like you kind of come out with the upper hand, it gives you an edge kind of going into the next phase of the game. And if you keep stacking those things, ultimately, it puts you in a position to win games.
So then thinking about the relationship between the run game and the pass game and the way they work off of each other, I'm trying to make sense of this from Greg Olson yesterday, because he said that the Seahawks are a passing team out of heavy personnel. And it didn't feel like that's necessarily something that you would say to describe your team. I was curious what you would. Are you a passing team out of heavy personnel?
Well, I'm sure he means that we like to throw it, when we out of all of our personnel groups, and we live in all the personnel groups. 11 is the prevailing personnel group throughout the league. 12 is becoming more popular. We run 12 personnel, we run 13 personnel, we run 12 personnel. 22. We get into what we call pony, which is 2 backs. We try to have a diverse personnel package that we can deploy at any given point in time, and I think we can throw it at all those groups, which is great. You can run and throw it. Some teams just put certain groups in the game, and you can anticipate what's about to happen. And I feel like we have kind of a complementary, to keep using that word, just set of plays that we can get to based on who's in the game.
Mike, do you ever go back and watch the TV copy to hear what is being either said kind of during the broadcast by the guys in the booth?
I rely on Dave for that one.
You should watch the fourth quarter of this one. I think you'll like it.
Okay. I'm not going to, but
Collinsworth was very excited about the Seahawks last night.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
And he also said something I thought, I obviously, having been in that profession for some years and kind of knowing some of these guys through the years as well, he said something kind of unique. It jumped out to me, Coach, and he said that Mike's got a group that is really personnel-wise equipped to blitz defensively. That as good as the front has been and the pressure rates were off the charts and the front four and the sacks and all of it, felt like you had your personnel this year is being defined by a lot of different guys that you can kind of move around and play with and blitz. Are you feeling that freedom as a play caller?
I am. I think we're getting better with our blitzes, which is helping out, kind of round out our defensive menu, I guess, or just game plans that we can bring to the table. Yeah. And it's still, we're still kind of a unit where we haven't had a lot of personnel consistency from week to week, so that's playing it a part of it as well. And but I feel like when we've dialed it up, guys have won their matchups, and our pressure coverages have done a good job. We haven't kind of been relating to guys the right way and haven't given up explosives in that end. So that's something that we want to continue to be able to do. Otherwise, you start doing just one thing all the time, the offenses and coordinators and quarterbacks are just way too good. They'll pick you apart. So you have to have tendencies. Otherwise, you're not going to be any good at anything. But you have to have, the change ups and the curveballs off of the things that that you're pretty good at, your A's, so to speak.
What makes guys individually good blitzers, and then maybe collectively as a group a good blitzing team? From your perspective?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a timing aspect to it. There's always, like, when you draw up the blitz on the whiteboard, it looks a certain way, but like there's a certain demeanor that comes with blitzing. Like if you're going to send 5 guys, normally there's at least 3 guys are going to have one-on-ones, and if you sim pressure with 4 guys, you're trying to get certain guys one-on-ones in those situations, and you're expecting those guys to win. Now, it's a predetermined type of path, but how you get there is a little bit more based off of how the guy blocks you, or like your plan of attack. See it through that lens. Then I'd say what makes it effective is you have to work together. So, and it's still, even though you're blitzing, it's still rush and coverage working together. There's either you're manned up and you're in zero in the back end, and those guys have to hold up in their end of the bargain, or you're in some form of 5 or 6 man rush or 4-man rush, and that coverage has to get the quarterback to not throw the ball immediately, so your pass rush can come alive, and obviously the rush lanes have to be disciplined and work together, just like you do in 4-man rush, so you can get to the quarterback.
So speaking of blitzes, what do you think it's like to be a guard? Maybe it's a center. And you see Leonard Williams, 2-3 yards off the ball, taking a running start to come flying at you on a 3rd down. What do you think that feels like?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Probably not good.
I
You know,
can't
probably
imagine
not
it feels good, right? I mean, what can he do with that level of a running start?
Well, I think what you're alluding to is we're trying to, it's not like we're just doing new things. I mean, these are things that we have put a lot of reps in, and we're gonna have specific game plans from week to week. But that what we're asking our guys to do are things that they've done, and just sometimes you just dress it up and you make it look a little bit different, and hopefully that gives us an advantage and lets us be the aggressor in those situations. But it's a credit to Leo that, I mean, look, the guy's an incredible athlete, and it's not easy learning all the spots and all the movements that comes across our front, and he's able to do that and retain it. And AD and Hines and CP do a great job game plan and the movements and teaching them ways to win and things like that, and having a plan. So we'll keep moving around, keep trying to find the best matchups.
When your buddies in the profession give you a buzz, maybe early in the week, Mike, and kind of look at what you're doing, and certainly the success now on the road, winning 9 in a row and 10-1 overall. And man, Coach, what are you guys doing to be so effective on these road trips? Anything that you kind of tell your buddies as far as what you think you guys do really well when you travel?
I mean, I don't know. This is not a good. It's not going to be like a great radio answer. I don't have I don't have anything for it. I think it goes back to everybody involved, everyone that plans out how we travel. It's very seamless. I do think there's an aspect of us, once like if you feel, we left, it was a 1-day trip, which was kind of cool. I thought I liked how we did it this time around with a primetime game. But there's something to be said about like getting on the plane, being together as a team. You're kind of in the game type of mindset, even though you're not like expending energy, but you're starting to be locked in, and everyone's together. And then it's a testament to our guys, that they like the resolve you have to go into another person's stadium and play good football, So I mean, I don't know if there was a. Let me put it this way: if there was a secret, I definitely wouldn't be telling you. But I don't have it, so I just we're honestly just, what is it going to take for us to play our best football? That's really that's the question we're trying to answer every week, especially on the road.
Heard Chris say last night that you told him you were still annoyed about the Tampa loss, and that didn't surprise me. And then also heard him say that you thought that loss maybe helped make your team better and get you to where you are now. How? What did you get from that loss that has helped the team play better over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's everybody. I mean, I think it starts with me and what it takes to get our team ready to play. That's probably number one. Number two, we've declared. I think. Let's, like I told you guys, I think maybe a couple weeks, like get out of the way, Mike. Let the players go play. Don't be an idiot. Like, play, call good plays. Have a clean game plan. Let them call stuff that the guys can play and play fast that they've been doing for X amount of months now or years, however long they've been here. So that's probably two. And then I think our players realize what it takes to go. One, what it takes to play great football, but how to prepare, like what it looks like throughout the week on a day-to-day basis, and to feel like you can go play your best football. We didn't have great practices at the latter part of that week, and to the guys' credit, they recognized it and they went to work at it.
Hey, Maura, if you wouldn't mind, make sure you cut that. Get out of the way, Mike. I think I'm going to need that for my show.
Yeah, that's probably my intro. That should be the new intro,
I'm
sure everyone's eager to tune in.
It may very well be by next week. We'll see. Go ahead, Brock.
Well, I was just kind of curious, too. This is our first chance to really chat with you since the bye week, and how you attacked the bye week, maybe any differently than you did as a rookie coach, or things that came out of the bye week as a point of emphasis that you really felt like came to life last night.
Yeah. I think when it comes to the bye week, I don't think there's like one way to do it. I think you kind of like with all the, these are all the first or second time go rounds that we're making these decisions with our with our new staff and our new team, and we take our philosophy is like, what's best for the team. What does our team need at this point? And I felt like our guys needed and deserved some time off and time away. And after the Monday night game, felt like it was just appropriate for the guys to get out and take care of their bodies and be with their families and stuff. So we didn't see the players all week, and then we only took one day. I feel like it'd be kind of a tough ask if I was leaving on Wednesday morning to go see my dad, and if I left and I told the staff to stick around and grind out the self scout, I thought that was kind of that wouldn't be probably the best thing to do of all time. So guys were in Wednesday, kind of came up with the plan of attack. We were remote the rest of the week for the coaches, and did our studies and stuff. Now, and we got a lot of great info, and there's a lot of like schematic stuff that we felt like we could narrow down on. And I think the most important thing though, Brock, was like, hey, when we nail the things that we said we wanted to be about and how we wanted to operate, and we played the way that we said we were going to, that's a pretty good combo. Like that we need to double down on that. I don't think we're looking for answers elsewhere. I think we're looking for answers within how we operate, on how we decided how we wanted to be. Does that make sense? It's like, yeah. There was a clarity there of, hey guys, look, when we nail the Seahawks, when we do the stuff that we said we're going to be able to do, that's a pretty powerful combo. So let's put our focus right there.
And when in the remote meetings was it like, you know what I like a 6'3".
Oh, we were not on Zoom. Trust me, that I was not talking.
Oh, okay.
I mean, everyone, you can work. Yeah. You can take the computer and go do whatever, but everyone has their reports, and then we really debriefed on Monday. So
did you like the email that came in and said, here's what we're going to do? We're going to put Pili, 6'3", 345, ran a 5'3", 40 coming out of college. We're going to put him right in the middle of kickoff cover. I know he doesn't have to run 60 yards anymore. It's only about 10 or so.
Yep.
But was he on kickoff coverage team before the bye week?
No, it's funny. We were in a game plan meeting, and Jay was like, "Okay, this is good." We were going with the personnel, and John was actually on the phone, so he was remote. There you go. He was remote in that meeting, but and Jay was like, "Well, that's good. So now I can still have Pili on a kickoff," and I'm like, "Really?" But look, I mean, like I said after the game, I mean, I love how Jay and Fitz think. It's who are the people that are going to be available for the game? How do we deploy them the best way? And then that's everybody, D tackles included. Now Pili is a heck of an athlete. Now, I mean, the guy, he's a great athlete. So, and it speaks to his the guy was so excited to be on a kickoff coverage team, and so like. You got a bunch of guys on a team that want to play those roles. That's awesome, man. That's so great. And I just think it's a great example of a guy that's really bought in and wants to help the team win. And as you know it, ball finds energy. That's how things work. All of a sudden, you're forcing a fumble. Our first forced fumble of the year, that we recovered, was on a kickoff team, which is pretty wild.
I was thinking about guys that are new this year, maybe things that help make you different from a year ago. And I realize we haven't talked to you much about Demarcus Lawrence. What has he brought to the team?
Well, I think I think what happened in Tampa Bay, not having him out there, I felt like you could sense a little bit of difference there. His attitude, energy, toughness. I think, man, I don't know if I could say enough good things about D-Law. I mean, he walking in the door day one, it was different. How he did the drills, how he brought the whole front together, the camaraderie and that they built in that room, that they rush together, they rush a certain way, how they rush off one another, I think is really cool. And I think it gives us an edge compared to, most teams, and teams that I've been around at least. Mm-hmm. And, you hear me say like he's the same guy every day, but he really is. His approach, I mean, we have to hold him, because if you put him out there, he's going 1,000 miles an hour. Sometimes we got to take care of him, make sure he's not taking too many reps, but that's all those things. When we talk about like as a force multiplier on your football team, he is definitely in that category.
We've had our chats about PFF, and so I'm not going to go there. But there was another group called NFL Plus that looks at all the different guys and stats and next level numbers. According to NFL Plus, Gray Zabel, 0 sacks allowed and the 6th lowest QB pressure in the NFL at 3.5%. Do those numbers jive with kind of the self-scout? And obviously you'll watch the O-line play in a little more detail today.
Right.
But how about the rookie that we talked a lot about in and around the draft and now over 8 weeks or so? That kind of resume tape real?
Yeah, it's real. It's real. Well, I'll say this: it's how he works with Jalen and Charles is really cool. They developed a really good relationship, and it takes chemistry to you're not just on 5 islands. You got to work together up front, and I kind of like what you're talking about with like Jax and Sam, how they built the chemistry from day one. And how critical that is, to have success. I think that's the same thing with your offensive line, and him and Charles have a really tight relationship, and that's really cool. But as far as greatest individually, I mean, I'd say steady. He's tough. He's got some attitude about him. He finishes plays. He's competitive as crap. I mean, all those things are a recipe for being a dang good offensive lineman. And man, I'm glad we picked him. I mean, it's just just a great job by all of our people and John to make the move on draft day.
Any big trades coming up by tomorrow?
Yeah, we got a few right in the pike.
Good, nice, thanks. All right,
yeah, we'll do it right after.
Right after we get off the phone here, do it right then. What?
No, I mean we'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
We were debating last week, maybe just more of a philosophical question. I don't know if you can answer this or not right before the trade deadline, but I'll ask. When you think about a trade mid-season for a team that's 6-2 and playing good ball, do you think more about trying to fix some things that are weaknesses, or do you think about trying to adding more to things that are strengths?
I think we're looking at it through the lens of is this gonna help our team now and in the future, And then it's up to us to decide, like, well, how much is it now? How much is the future? Is it both? You're never really gonna make it. Hopefully, you're not making transactions that you think is gonna make you worse. I mean, even as something as simple as, what we did at the end of last week with guys not being available and bringing up guys from practice squad. I mean, all those decisions are okay for this week. For this week and the future. Honestly, because you're talking about guys going on IR. Maybe not going on IR, so it's like what's best for now, but what's also best for the future. Those are, to me, that's kind of how you're balancing it in your mind of, okay, is this something that we want to go for, or do we need to, pump the brakes on this thing? Hopefully that paints you a good picture.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Congratulations. Great win last night. Home game now coming up this week, and we'll look forward to talking to you on Monday.
All right, guys. Hey, I missed you, man. I missed seeing you.
I know.
This is empty seat over here.
Sad. Yeah, don't worry. We'll be there on Monday. I'll be there, and we can embrace.
Okay. It's not that early, Brock. It's only,
Right, yeah.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks. Yeah.